Kobe or Jordan? That is the question. But what is the answer? What's up everybody, it's Jimmy, and at one point in time the NBA blessed us with the likes of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant in the league at the same time. One of them was older and more accomplished, the other was just getting his young career started. Those who were old enough at the time to watch these duels got to watch some of the best basketball ever. The rest of us have to settle for highlights. But you see, the thing about highlight reels is they're just that. Highlights. They never quite show the whole picture. Personally, I was too young to watch these two legends go at it. I always assumed Jordan got the best of a young and still very much developing Kobe. But what if I told you this was far from the truth? What if I told you that in the 11 games Kobe and Jordan faced off, the outcome was about as evenly matched as you could possibly imagine? Well, I was curious to know if this was the case, so I looked up every single time Michael Jordan played Kobe Bryant and analyzed each and every game, even the All-Star games, and what I found was shocking. So first, let's talk about some of the basic numbers when it comes to this GOAT matchup. All in all, Kobe and Jordan faced off 11 times during their NBA careers, 8 regular season games and 3 All-Star games. Kobe was between the ages of 18 and 24, whereas Mike was between the ages of 33 and 39. These matchups had all the ingredients of a passing the torch moment. Kobe was transitioning from a kid to an MVP caliber superstar, and Mike was transitioning from the greatest player on the planet to a veteran with virtually nothing left to prove. Again, if you think these matchups were lopsided, you are in for a big surprise. The first time Mike and Kobe faced off was on December 17th, 1996. Jordan was coming off of an MVP season and his 4th championship. Kobe was coming out of high school and fresh off of his 18th birthday. Needless to say, this matchup went in favor of Mike. Kobe only played 10 minutes, put up 5 shots, and had a decent outing with his limited minutes on the floor. Jordan was Jordan. He went for 39 and 3 that night and got the dub. At the time, this was nothing more than a regular season game against a young Lakers team and the best team in the NBA. But in hindsight, it was just the beginning for these two. The next time Michael played Kobe was later that season on February 5th, and everything was basically the same between them. Kobe put up 5 points in 13 minutes off the bench, and Mike led all scorers with 27 points. But this time around, the Lakers won. Now, the next season was Kobe's breakout year. He went from a reserve player averaging just over 15 minutes and 7 points a game to an all-star at just 19 years old. In fact, he wasn't just an all-star. He was an all-star starter. Mike was still the best player in the league, but Kobe was getting better at an alarming rate. On December 17th, 1997, Michael and Kobe went head-to-head for the 3rd time, and this time around, things got interesting. Kobe finished the game with 33 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists in 29 minutes while shooting an efficient 60% from the field. He was only 19 years old. But Michael, being Michael, made a point to Kobe that he still had work to do in order to be the best. Jordan finished the game with 36, 5, and 4, and the Bulls blew out the Lakers by 21 points. But although the Lakers lost, Kobe had proven to Michael Jordan and the entire league that he was the real deal. He only had 2 30-point games that season, and one of them was directly on the best player in the league. Initiate Mamba mentality. The next game they faced off was February 1st, 1998. Jordan went off for 31 and 5. The next highest scorer for the Bulls was Scott Burrell with 15. Kobe had a solid outing as well with 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. But this box score is a bit misleading. Kobe only played 26 minutes because the Lakers basically took a shit on the Bulls that game. Like 91-64 at the end of the 3rd quarter. This was the first game in the Kobe Shaq era that the Bulls looked completely outmatched. Now, the next time Michael and Kobe saw each other on the court was the 1998 NBA All-Star game, just 1 week after that previous blowout game. And I think Michael took it personally because even with one of the most lopsided All-Star games in NBA history in favor of the West, the East All-Star team won by a lot, all on the back of a 35-year-old Jordan. MJ dropped 23 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals on his way to earning All-Star MVP. The next best performance was Kobe Bryant with 18 and 6. Even at the young age of 19, Kobe was battling with Mike. And even at the advanced age of 35, Mike was battling with Kobe. At this point in their short but memorable matchups, things begin to tilt in Kobe's favor. It's 2001 and the tables have turned. Kobe is now the one coming off of a championship season run and an MVP caliber season where he averaged nearly 28, 6, and 4 a game at just 22 years old. On the other hand, Michael was coming back out of retirement for the second time at the tender age of 38. And at this point in his career, father time was creeping up on him. Their first matchup after Jordan's comeback was on February 10th, 2002, and it just happened to be the All-Star game. For the first time in his career, Kobe looked flat out better than Jordan. In one of the best All-Star games of his career, Kobe put up 31, 5, and 5 on his way to earning All-Star Game MVP, whereas Jordan managed just 8 points and 4 rebounds in 22 minutes of play. And you may be thinking, at this point Jordan was old and just the shell of his former self. And this is true. But flashback to 6 years ago and Kobe was facing the exact opposite problem. In fact, it's interesting how Kobe was improving at virtually the same rate that Michael was declining. And this became no more apparent than during their very next face-off just 2 days after the All-Star game. Michael had a solid outing with 22, 6, and 5. Not the Michael of old, but still a good game. But Kobe didn't just have a good game. This game, Kobe made a statement. Against his childhood idol, Kobe dropped one of the sickest triple-doubles of his entire career. That night, Kobe put up 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 15 assists. To put into perspective how incredible this was at the time, this was only Kobe's third career triple-double. It's almost as if he wanted to make a point to Michael that it was time to pass the torch. The next game was definitely an off night for the both of them. 14 and 6 for Kobe and just 12 minutes of play for Jordan. This one was forgettable, but the following game was one for the record books. November 8th, 2002. And aging Jordan is, I can't believe I'm saying this, coming off the bench. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT himself actually came off the bench at one point in time and actually lit the Lakers up. On this night, Jordan put up 25 points and propelled the Wizards to a win over the reigning champions. But Jordan wasn't just good on offense. Although Kobe had quite the game himself with 27, 6, and 4, Jordan held him to just 8 of 21 from the field and finished the game with a better offensive and defensive rating. Kobe played a hell of a game, and yet still got outplayed by a 39-year-old Michael Jordan coming off of the bench in his last season. Their last All-Star game together was also later that season, and it was one of their most evenly matched duels. Kobe finished the game with 22, 7, and 6, and Mike put up 25 and 2. And although Jordan was still able to hold his own at this point, it was becoming more and more obvious that it was Kobe's time. But nothing could have prepared NBA fans for what was to take place just a month later. What Kobe did to an old, vulnerable Michael Jordan was about as savage as it gets. After years of being either beaten up or matched by Michael, Kobe Bryant was ready to put this rivalry to bed. Just 7 years into his career, Kobe had proven a lot. He had proven himself to be a champion 3 times. He had proven that he could be the best against the best, but he had yet to prove that he was undoubtedly better than the man he looked up to for his entire life. He didn't care that Michael was 40 years old. He didn't care that his team was clearly better than Mike's. He was prepared to end the discussion once and for all. And what better time to do this than in his last matchup against the man himself? It's March 28th, 2003. The Wizards are in town for a regular season matchup against the Lakers. The last time these two teams played each other, Jordan had himself a game and the Wizards came out on top. As the game gets underway, Jordan starts right where he left off, hitting 4 consecutive shots to start the game. Michael made it very clear that he wasn't gonna go down without a fight. But that's the thing. Kobe was ready for a fight.
Step tonight. Kobe's first jumper, that's good. Now Kobe from long range. Oh my. long jumper, three-pointer. Kobe Bryant, he is unbelievable. Kobe's fadeaway goal. Kobe for three, unbelievable. It is. They trail now by one. Here's his jumper, and here's Kobe again.
Simmons wants to turn baseline, squares up. He's got five from downtown. Lakers lost to 198. Kobe from 27.
Be around it. That was a nice looking shot.
It's in his range this week.
It's going up.
Oh my goodness!
Kobe Bryant, I knew what Tyronn Lue was wanting from there. He's too small. Kobe was just going to elevate. Gives the Lakers a 9-point lead. Nobody better get close to Kobe or they will get a severe block.
Here's Kobe working against Kwame Brown. Crossover pull-up. Do it again.
You better take a timeout, Doug. Take a timeout, maybe in order. And then call the fire marshal. Tell him to get Kobe out of the building. Different fire marshal right now. Kobe Bryant is definitely the crowd on their feet. They're seeing the show of their life. 4 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the half. The Lakers are up 52.
In one of the best nights of his entire career, Kobe Bryant erupted for 42 points in the first half, hitting 8 threes in just 21 minutes. Kobe wasn't just putting up a fight. This man brought the whole damn war. In their very last duel, Kobe dropped 55 points and shot an absurd 70% from three. Clearly, Kobe wanted to give Jordan a farewell gift. Something to remember him by. Something Michael Jordan would never forget. And I think it's safe to say he accomplished that. If you could pinpoint the exact moment Michael Jordan passed the torch to Kobe Bryant, this would be it. So, there it is. 11 games, a lot of buckets, some wins, some losses, but overall, a surprisingly even matchup between Kobe and Jordan. In fact, when you look at their numbers from all 11 times they faced off, they're almost identical. Let me ask you, between these two stat lines, which one do you think is Kobe's and which one do you think is Jordan's? Pretty damn similar, right? Well, as I said earlier in the video, the transition between Michael slowing down and Kobe speeding up was so perfectly timed that it made these matchups split right down the middle. Of the 11 games they faced off, Jordan was in his prime for about the first 4, whereas Kobe was in his prime for the last 6. Michael was better than Kobe for just about as long as Kobe was better than Mike. Not including All-Star games, Mike beat Kobe 3 times and Kobe beat Mike 5 times. So take this information however you want. Come to whatever conclusion you seem fit. But after looking into each and every matchup between Jordan and Kobe, all I've taken away from this is, well, more respect for both of them. The way they went at each other and didn't hold back is something I can appreciate. A prime Mike wasn't afraid to punish a young Kobe, and a prime Kobe wasn't afraid to light up an old Mike. And it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Hopefully it was for you too. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, until next time.